What up, it's Matt, Taco Potato Mustang. I am going to do a short review of the Apeman C860 dash cam. I actually got this like 5 years ago, and so it's probably pretty dated, but I tried to install it on my 2014 Mustang, and for whatever reason, I just could not get it to function the way it's supposed to. I think it was something to do with the power, the cigarette lighter power plug on that car. So then I just put it away and completely forgot about it for a long time. And then I tried recently, just saw it sitting in my garage, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and see if this will work on one of the other cars. And so far I've done a couple trial runs in the Subaru Forester and in the Elantra N, which I'm sitting in now. And it seems to be functioning the way it's intended, and it seems to do most of what you need. I'm not gonna do like an installation unless during this process I find something that is, like tricky or finicky or whatever. I do want to mention the instructions on this, the manual. It's pretty straightforward. This is the front camera, and just to give you an idea of how it compares, or how it is size wise. Hang on, just need to unscrew something. This is my GoPro Hero 7. It's a little bit more narrow, the overall camera, except for the lens, and a little bit longer than that GoPro. So if you have it up in, I can show you where I currently have the mount situated. So you can see, like, if you're looking at it from my angle, and I'm pretty tall, I can sort of see the camera still, but it's not intrusively blocking my view, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. One thing I want to note in the instructions that I think is a little bit misleading. This is on page 7 of the installation manual. It says, it gives you the suggested settings, and I'm happy to use all these. This is fine, whatever. But there's two things. One is the motion detection off. The way I read it is this makes it seem like you have the option of having it off while driving, and same with the parking guard. If you actually look at the camera settings, you can turn it off, like you can turn it off yourself. You turn off parking guard and motion detection. And then but if you want to have them on while the car is parked, you have to go into the settings and turn them back on. There's no way to do like turned on while driving, or turned off while driving, turned on while parked. So that kind of sucks. I mean, I imagine that in the last 5 years, there's been dash cams that have come out that have, a lot more functionality and more options. Yeah, so I'll show some footage here in a minute, just to give you a sense of how it looks during regular driving and at night. And I would say, I've looked at it on my computer, and overall, it seems like a pretty solid dash cam, like pretty simple, straightforward option. I wouldn't have said that a few years ago when I was trying to get it to work on my Mustang, but I think that was more of an issue with my car in retrospect. But yeah, it seems to work the way it's intended. I imagine there's some newer Apeman models that have come out, and probably some other really good dash cams. But take a look at the footage on this one. Maybe I'll make a couple more comments about installation and usage, but I think overall it's a pretty straightforward, basic but functional option if you're looking for a dash cam. The other thing is, I have not installed the rear facing camera. This is what that looks like. My only issue with this is that when I was trying to do this a few days ago, the lighting wasn't great, so I couldn't really see where I was aiming the camera. and I didn't know if I had it in a good spot. So what I need to do is just run, they give you this massive cable to run from the front cam to the back cam. And I just need to mess around with that a little bit. And then maybe by the time I finish editing this video, I can also get some footage of how the rear camera looks and compare it to the front-facing camera. Oh, one other complaint I have is, so you have to make sure that the audio is on. I've had this happen twice so far where I turned the audio on and then I turned the car off, whatever, and when I came back, just happened to check and the audio was no longer on. And then the next time I did it, the audio was still on. So I don't know if that's like, if there's something causing that or if that's just like a regular glitch or something, but I'd say that's the two complaints I have, is just that you have to turn on the parking monitor and motion detection when you're about to get out of the car, like when you park in the garage or in a parking garage or parking lot or whatever. And the other one being the audio. Actually, while I'm doing this, I might as well just show you what my issues are with this camera. So I just plugged it in. The car's already on, and that's where the power cord goes into on the Elantra. I just plugged it in, and it just starts recording automatically, which I think is also one of the default settings. Like basically, once it has power, it just starts recording. So if you want to mess with the settings, like you have to manually power it off. Like hold down the power button. The other thing is there's only 4 buttons on here, which some people might appreciate the simplicity of it, but it's a little bit annoying when there's certain things that don't have like 1 button functionality. Okay, so I'm gonna press the orange button, the power button once. And it didn't do anything, of course. Come on. Okay, hold it down, it powers on. Okay, so like when you go into the menu, the main menu, you have to select, camera settings, then you gotta scroll down to, so audio still shows is on. Then you gotta scroll down to motion detection, you press the orange button, the power button, then it's off right now because I have it off. Then you have to go turn it on, press the orange button again, and then it goes back. So then if you wanna do parking guard, do the same thing. It's not that complicated, but it's a little bit of annoying of a process to have to do every time you get in and out of the car. Because if you, hang on a second. Because if you have the motion detection on or the parking sensor on while you're driving, the thing just starts to lose its fucking mind. Obviously, like motion detection while you're driving, everything is moving. So it's gonna go haywire. And it basically does this thing where it creates an event. That's what it's supposed to do. Like if there's an accident or like something, I think where the car like rapidly accelerates or something that, essentially is concerning. So, and then it's supposed to like create an event and then save that video to a separate folder so you can access it and it doesn't get like overwritten by the loop recording. It doesn't get like erased from the memory card. But if you're driving and you have you forget to take the motion sensor off, or you have the parking guard still on, then it keeps like creating an event and it just starts to go like nuts. And I think I've seen the memory card say it's like it needs to be reformatted a couple times. But I think as long as you remember to not turn, as long as you remember to turn the parking sensor off, or parking mode or parking sensor off, and or motion sensor off and parking mode off before you start driving, then it seems to work fine. And then outside of that, the only other thing is just to make sure that the audio is on. Okay, just testing the camera to see if how the audio and the video function compares to the other cameras I use for video, usually an iPhone 16. So, testing the sound, can you hear me while I'm singing in the car like an idiot? This is my old, I didn't think it was old, my old GoPro Hero 7, which we bought like, I don't know, 7 years ago. I guess it makes sense that the 13 or 14 or whatever is the latest version. Testing this to see how the sound and video compare to the Apeman C860 dash cam, and also to the iPhone 16 that I usually use for video recording, although most of my videos before the last month were iPhone 13, I think. Audio, video, audio, silence, science, energy, electrolytes, turbo lights, carbo lights. More lights than your body has room for. You have to have been around on the internet for a while to probably have gotten those references, but whatever. This is the rear-facing iPhone 16 Pro camera. Testing the video and audio here to compare to the GoPro Hero 7 and the Apeman Dashcam C860. I think the iPhone 16 is going to be significantly better quality, but we'll see when I get these videos onto the computer to mess around with. Yeah. All right, so yeah, you can get an idea of whether you think the camera is decent quality on the Apeman C860. I think it's probably seems like it's almost as good as the camera on the iPhone, at least for just, you know, general recording. And the nighttime quality seems really good too. Overall, I'm sure there's better dash cams that exist. It seems like a, you know, decent one for the price. I think that I saw one online. Like I just did a quick search and it was like $75. So, and that includes a front and rear cam. I think it comes with a memory card. And I mean, I think as long as it works with your car, the power plug on your car, then it seems like a pretty solid choice. But this is the first dash cam I've ever reviewed, so I don't have a ton of stuff to compare it to, but I would say overall pretty solid quality. And I'll probably see about getting another one for one of my other cars, and then, you know, maybe do a test and install and review on that at some point. So anyways, thanks for watching my video. Keep an eye out for more on Taco Potato Mustang, and use your turn signal.